I want to speak about my story a little bit. In 2020, 2021, 22, I was just a nervous freak. I had major social anxiety. I had so many insecurities and fears and judgments that were holding me back from doing things that I wanted to do, that it was kind of scary. I was so scared actually at some point that in 2020 I had some fears of going outside because I was scared of, oh, what will people think about me? So I had all of these insecurities. And some of them actually started before COVID. So there's a moment actually when I was presenting in front of the classroom, right? And then all of a sudden, I went cold, I went silent. I kind of forgot my script of what I wanted to say. And that was scary. And a lot of my friends that I actually had were scared of presenting in public. They all had some social anxiety in a way, a lot of my friends and even family members. So a lot of their insecurities at that time actually attached to me, and that was one of many insecurities I had. I also didn't have the high self-confidence at that time, so I was a little more self-conscious about the clothes I would wear, how I would look, etc., etc., etc. And that was an interesting moment, I gotta say. I only started to care less about what other people thought later on in 2022, starting off in 2023. And I'm still nowhere near perfect. I'm really nervous doing what I'm doing right now, but it's crazy how I went from having major social anxiety back then to being able to do something like this, record myself in public, filled with people in the mall. I'll be talking about the many different ways for how I dealt about overcoming some of my insecurities and fears and how you can do the same as well. So, number one, you're probably judging yourself more than other people are judging you. A lot of the times when you're judging others, you're actually judging them based on what insecurity you have. So for example, if I'd be judging someone that's recording a video like I'm recording right now, then I'm judging them based on my insecurity of, wow, it's so weird to record in public, why are they doing this? And I feel like the best way to overcome this type of a self-judgment is judging yourself less, but also sympathizing with others who are doing something that you're insecure about. For example, if I saw someone recording like what I'm doing right now in public, instead of judging them, I do something like, oh wow, it's pretty cool, they're recording in public for a video, I totally understand them. I want to do something similar someday myself. And when you sympathize with others instead of judging them, that insecurity you have of yourself, over time you overcome this insecurity. In our culture, a lot of people were scared of failing, right? And I was scared of failing too at some point. And I'd create different software projects, but I wouldn't post them on social media. I wouldn't post them on my LinkedIn or other places because I was scared of, oh, what will other people think about me if this project fails? Because my friends, my family members, everyone will see me post all of my projects on these social media platforms, and if they bomb all of a sudden, then I'll have a negative rap. It's kind of funny because what I've realized later on is I would post all these projects on my LinkedIn, social media, and other platforms, and most people could care less. For them, they forgot about most of my failed projects I created and posted because they had so much stuff going on in their lives that they could care less, what was happening to me. And even if they did, because I had some cases where, people would bring them up sometimes, I realized that a lot of times they bring up my failures because they wanted to try a lot of the stuff I'm doing right now, but they're too scared to do it because these insecurities are holding them back. So I realized that a lot of the insecurities that people project onto me are actually their own fears. A lot of times they're somewhat bitter about not being able to do stuff themselves and instead project a lot of their insecurities and fears onto me. And the problem with this is that it's a spiral, right? It's a cycle where a lot of people instill their insecurities onto someone else, and then someone else may project onto someone else, and it just goes on to this cycle of negativity. And the best way to overcome a lot of these insecurities is sympathizing with others instead of judging them. A lot of the most miserable people in the world, they have so many insecurities and they just constantly judge people instead of having more freedom and living life in a freer manner. Number two, question your own judgment. Now keep the statistic in mind. There's a 1 in a 40 trillion or a 4 trillion chance of you being born. So the chance of you being born is so low that it's much better to live life in risk and embarrassment than in regret. And if you think about it, most people won't even remember you either. And although it's kind of depressing and sad, I think it's actually amazing because then you can expose yourself to all these many different opportunities, embarrass yourself, have fun, live life in more risk, and just do things that you wouldn't traditionally do because you're too scared and you have all these insecurities holding you back. In most cases, embarrassment only lasts for a certain moment or for a few minutes or maybe an hour or something like that. Maybe one day at most, but regret lasts for a lifetime. So I'd much rather embarrass myself and do something interesting like this than living life in regret and not being able to experience these cool opportunities and moments that I usually wouldn't be able to do, because who does this stuff? Also, I want to give you a challenge. Can you recall the last embarrassing moment that one of your acquaintances had? For instance, if you remember one of their embarrassing moments, right? Now the question is, how much do you really think about it? Do you really think about it? Every time you see them, do you bring it up? Does it really matter anymore? You're so consumed with your life, all of your insecurities, all of the things going on in your life, that you can care less about all of these other people's problems, especially your acquaintances. A lot of these people you're not even close with, right? And the funny thing is, they're not really as prevalent to you in your life. Then why does their opinion matter? You know what I mean? Their opinion doesn't even matter. Like, the main opinions that matter are the people that you care about and the people that are closest to you in your lives. So the reason why I do all these crazy things right now that I'm doing, life is so short. And if you want to experience all these cool things and try these new things and do all this weird stuff, you got to be able to just let go of what other people think about you and just do what you want to do. Just don't hold back. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely not going to be holding back right now. I'm going to be passing by a slightly busier area. I want to go upstairs to pass by a slightly busier area and film for a cool thumbnail. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. See you then. Okay, I'm actually really nervous, but you only live once. Let's do it. Man, that was nerve-wracking. I don't know what I just did. You know, I usually don't do this crazy stuff, but YOLO.